Why are Catholic priests not married when the Orthodox priests are married and also Protestant ministers are married? So this question has both theological and historical aspects to it. First, on a theological basis, we can see the origins of this going back to St. Paul himself. In his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 7, St. Paul talks about how he himself is an unwed man and how the unmarried man is concerned about the things of the Lord. And so the idea is that if a person is going to dedicate their lives to serving God, it will be useful to be unmarried, so that way they can focus in on doing the things that God has asked them to do. Now, that wasn't always the case, and in fact, in the early church, priests were married. By and large, priests were married. The people that were not married were the monks. Those that had taken religious vows, that had gone off and become hermits. These men were trying to live a life of sanctity. Now, if memory serves, it was in the Council of Orange. The church was having a whole bunch of issues, was having a whole bunch of questions of corruption, had a whole bunch of questions about what the priests were doing. And so they looked around and said, who's actually following the call of Christ? And they found the monks, and it's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Our priests and our bishops will live as monks. They will take this promise to celibacy, that they will remain unmarried so that they can dedicate their lives to God. Because before this, some of the problems would be like if a bishop had multiple sons, he would ordain his sons, and then he would give those sons the best parishes, the best churches. And so there was problems of nepotism. I would also say on a more recent thing, it is useful to be able to pick up your life completely and go anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. So about a month ago, I was in Elko. I got reassigned to Reno, and I was able to move out within 3 weeks. And so there is something to be said about going wherever the Lord calls you to, wherever the responsibility is. I had a buddy in seminary, which he's a very interesting guy. He's Eastern Catholic, and he was allowed to be married before he was ordained. We went through seminary. We got to the third year of seminary, the year before we were ordained deacons, and then this guy left, and we were like, why are you leaving? And his response was, I have to get married before I am ordained, so I need to go find a wife. And so he left seminary so that way he could go find someone to marry him, so that way he could then go and get ordained, because in the Orthodox Church you have to be married before you are ordained. I mean, if you afterwards you can't get remarried. And so there is something to be said about the history of it, that there was concern of nepotism, theology of it, St. Paul himself, and also just the practical aspects of being able to uproot your life at a moment's notice and then go and serve the Lord wherever he needs you.